Infrastructure is the backbone of a nation's development. You may have noticed on social media and YouTube that foreign visitors to China have been amazed by the country's cutting-edge new infrastructures. China's public transport systems, including high-speed rail, subways, international airports, and highways, are engineering marvels. In contrast, the US is struggling with outdated infrastructure. In this video, we'll explore why China's infrastructure is so much more advanced than that of the US. Before we dive in, please consider subscribing to our channel to show your support and receive more engaging videos like this one. Now, let's delve into the reasons why America's infrastructure is falling behind China's. Number 1. Infrastructure spending. In 2022, China allocated $2.3 trillion towards expanding its infrastructure, aiming to invest this amount within a single year. In contrast, the United States' $1.2 trillion infrastructure investment is planned to be spread out over a period of 5 years. This shows one thing: China's commitment to infrastructure is nothing short of monumental. The country consistently outpaces the United States in infrastructure spending, channeling vast resources into building roads, bridges, high-speed railways, and cutting-edge technologies. Take 2021, for example. As a share of the country's GDP, China's average infrastructure spending in 2021 was nearly 10 times higher than that of the United States. Indeed, at 4.8% of its GDP, China's investments were significantly higher than anywhere else in the world. While China spent 4.8% of its GDP on inland transport infrastructure, the US only spent a mere 0.5%. Meanwhile, the United States has faced challenges in modernizing its infrastructure, with aging bridges, roads, and public transportation systems in dire need of upgrades. The American Society of Civil Engineers consistently rates the U.S. infrastructure at mediocre levels, highlighting deficiencies in areas such as transit, water systems, and energy grids. The repercussions of underinvestment are felt across various sectors, from transportation delays and inefficiencies to environmental hazards and compromised safety standards. It is clear that China's dedication to infrastructure development is reflected in its substantial financial commitments, far surpassing those of the United States. For instance, China's Belt and Road Initiative stands as a monumental testament to its investment prowess, with an estimated investment surpassing $1 trillion across various countries. This initiative encompasses a vast network of infrastructure projects, including railways, highways, ports, and energy pipelines, connecting China with Europe, Africa, and Asia. The Belt and Road Initiative is a strategy initiated by China that seeks to connect Asia with Africa and Europe via land and maritime networks, with the aim of improving regional integration, increasing trade, and stimulating economic growth. And it all begins with infrastructure. In contrast, the United States' allocation of resources towards infrastructure has been overshadowed by other priorities such as military expenditures and overseas engagements. The prolonged involvement in the Afghanistan war, which cost the U.S. over $2 trillion in 2 decades, highlights a significant diversion of funds that could have otherwise been directed towards domestic infrastructure projects. The outcome of this prolonged conflict, with the eventual return of the state to Taliban control, underscores the need for a reassessment of resource allocation and strategic priorities. Moreover, China's investments in cutting-edge technologies such as 5G networks, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy infrastructure further exemplify its forward-looking approach to infrastructure spending. Chinese companies like Huawei have emerged as global leaders in telecommunications infrastructure, showcasing the competitive advantage gained through strategic investments in innovative technologies. Number 2. Economic growth. China's approach to economic growth through infrastructure investment is deeply rooted in its strategic vision and long-term planning. The country views infrastructure as a foundational pillar for economic expansion, connectivity, and global influence. This perspective is exemplified by China's "Build Roads First to Become Prosperous" philosophy, which prioritizes the development of transportation networks as catalysts for regional and national growth. An exemplary case of China's infrastructure-driven economic growth is the transformation of its high-speed rail network. The country has invested billions in constructing a state-of-the-art rail system, connecting major cities with speeds exceeding 350 kilometers per h. Today, China has had over 45,000 kilometers of high-speed rail, and it plans to further increase its length to 70,000 kilometers by 2035, which is a staggering number. This infrastructure development has facilitated rapid movement of goods, services, and people, boosting economic activity, tourism, and regional integration. The efficiency and scale of China's high-speed rail network serve as a model for leveraging infrastructure to stimulate economic growth and enhance competitiveness. In contrast, the United States' approach to economic growth often revolves around capitalist ideals, where private sector initiatives and profit motives play a central role. While this model has spurred innovation and entrepreneurship, it has also led to challenges in prioritizing long-term infrastructure investments over short-term gains. One notable example is the energy sector, particularly in states like Texas. During the winter storm in 2021, Texas experienced widespread power outages and surging electricity bills. The deregulated energy market, dominated by private companies, faced criticism for prioritizing profit margins over robust infrastructure resilience. The spike in electricity prices during the crisis highlighted the consequences of a system driven primarily by market forces, where consumers bore the brunt of infrastructure shortcomings. Additionally, China's investments in digital infrastructure, such as 5G networks and e-commerce platforms, have propelled its economy into the digital age. The widespread adoption of mobile payment systems, online retail, and smart technologies has accelerated economic transactions, productivity, and innovation. These digital infrastructure investments complement traditional physical infrastructure, creating a holistic ecosystem that fosters economic growth and competitiveness. In short, China focuses on infrastructure to drive economic growth, investing in high-speed rail, digital tech, and key industries for proactive national development. In contrast, the U.S., though capitalist, struggles to balance private sector interests with public needs, seen in vulnerabilities like energy infrastructure. And number 3, rapid urbanization. China continues to undergo rapid urbanization, marked by a significant migration of people from rural areas to expanding cities. This demographic shift necessitates substantial investments in housing, transportation, utilities, and public services to accommodate the influx of urban dwellers and sustain economic growth. One notable example of China's response to rapid urbanization is the construction of new megacities like Shenzhen. Once a small fishing village, Shenzhen transformed into a bustling metropolis, fueled by strategic infrastructure investments, technological innovation, and robust urban planning. The city's rapid growth and development serve as a microcosm of China's broader urbanization trends, showcasing the scale and ambition of infrastructure projects undertaken to support urban expansion and economic vitality. In contrast, the United States has largely reached a plateau in urbanization, with major cities already well established and experiencing slower population growth rates compared to previous decades. This shift in demographic dynamics presents challenges and opportunities for infrastructure development. While existing cities require upgrades and modernization of aging infrastructure, there is less incentive for massive urban expansion projects compared to rapidly urbanizing regions. Overall, China and the United States are experiencing contrasting trajectories in urbanization, shaping their respective approaches to infrastructure development. Do you see why America's infrastructure is aging while China's is cutting edge and far ahead? Do you agree with our analysis? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating content like this.